right, what's up, fellas? Wake Up Mintzy. We're right off the Tulane campus. We're at Campus Connection. I want to say thank y'all for having me. We're in New Orleans. It's Super Bowl week. Huge time last night at the Dozen Trivia at Fillmore. And shout out to Tulane. Love my relationship with the Wave. We're out here. We got the Director of Roster Management. What a title. I guess the new titles these days. Kelly Kamar to join us off the top. What's going on, Kelly? How are you today?
Pretty good, Mintzy. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming. Last night, Fillmore had a huge turnout. A lot of fun. Appreciate y'all coming. Had a bunch of Tulane athletics people in there. Jeff D'Lo, very happy. We had like over 500 tickets. Some really fun moments from the Dozen. Sean Payton showed up, and getting to hang out with him and John Gruden last night. Just like I got to pick with them. It was just unbelievable moment. I'll never forget was I met Sean Payton for like a second before the Saints-Broncos game. He walks in and just is like, "Hey, Mintzy," and gives me a hug. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's like Sean P. I was like, I don't know. I just remember driving through the snow to get to Chicago in 2006 to go to the NFC Championship game. And I'm just hanging out with him. What a world. What a crazy world. As always, I'll remind you, brought to you by Dude Wipes. Cleaning up all your messes. Amazon, Target, Walmart, all over the World Wide Web. One use of Dude Wipes will change your life. You'll never need dry, scratchy toilet paper again. Get the Dude Wipes. Well, Kelly, how are things going at Tulane?
They're going great, man. Going great. It was a great time last night. Always good to see some of your favorite Barstool, personalities. Got to see Roan. Got to dap up John Gruden. Heard the Gruden voice in person. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Gruden thing is we've made some good hires, but the Gruden thing is just epic.
He's electric.
He is, and he loves it. Like a lot of times when you're dealing with like ex-players and coaches, coming to Barstool, it's like, are they all in or not? And Gruden lives for it. He's out there on the street meeting everybody. And then him and Sean Payton stuff last night, because Gruden originally hired Sean Payton like back in the day, and just seeing them like talk about life, I was like, this can't be real. But it was super, super fun. Great event. Some other Barstool stuff. Frat House on Bourbon. Do you know anything about that? I've never been to the Frat House.
No, never.
I don't either. I usually dodge the Bourbon Street, kind of like it's the plague, to be honest. But Frat House on Bourbon, 5 to 7, Dave Portnoy, Big Cat, John Gruden, special guest. That's Wednesday through Friday. Also live programming all week, and just down here doing it big, love the Super Bowl week. What's this like for y'all? I hear rumors Chiefs practicing on y'all's campus.
Yeah, it's like the president's in our facility right now. It's a little hard to get in and out. We haven't seen our field in a couple of days, but hopefully the Chiefs are enjoying the digs.
Well, I bet they are, because y'all got the when y'all opened the on-campus stadium it was a 2014? 2014. I don't know. The Tulane football rise has been so much fun to follow. And obviously you worked, you played here, you worked for Willie Fritz here. You were with them in Houston. Now you're back. Like what he did to come in and just build this thing was, it's incredible. And I always tell people the atmosphere at the games now is awesome. Like the move from the Superdome to the on campus has been huge for y'all.
Yeah, it's great. It's a real college atmosphere now. You can stumble out of your dorm room, go into the tailgate area, get a little sauced up, and come into the game. It's a pretty good time.
It is. They throw down, and they've got like the whole Glazer suite level where people are just like partying on the second level. I was here. I've gone to like 4 or 5 games. That Ole Miss Tulane game, I know you were at Houston last year during it. That was nuts. I felt like there were 60,000 people in that stadium. Like couldn't even move.
Yeah, it's a real home field advantage now. We haven't had that in the past, and since we opened Ullman, it's been great. We got a couple good teams coming in this year too. We got Duke and Northwestern, so those are big games for us.
Yeah, and so the Tulane stuff, a lot of stuff going on. Another great year. John Sumrall, great first year, 9-4, made the conference championship game in the American. But you get, the NIL world, y'all are managing the roster stuff. Obviously, Dario Mintza, a great freshman year, now going to Duke. How just crazy is this to manage day to day?
It's tough. Everybody's learning on the fly. It's something that we're trying to get our arms around a little bit, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. We lost a couple of guys to some Power 4 schools, but we got a lot of really talented transfers in. I think we're going to have a really good team this year.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't. Love Coach Sumrall and what he's bringing here. He won back-to-back Sun Belt titles at Troy. And it's cool just because he also loves NOLA, and he'd been here before. And it just seems like it's been like a seamless fit kind of.
Yeah, you really, New Orleans is a place, it's like a big, small town. So you really have to love it. and you have to want to be here. And Coach Summerall, I mean, was here as a defensive coordinator in his late 20s, back under Curtis Johnson. And when the job came open, like, he was a guy I think we all circled as like, this is the perfect fit. And he's been just that perfect fit.
He's awesome. He loves it, loves the energy. And like you said, the New Orleans thing, it's like, if you love New Orleans, it'll love you back. And it's like the greatest place, but then there's also so much you deal with. I'm seeing all the construction out there on Broadway before Mardi Gras. It's like, I don't know. It's just like never ending, but it's almost like poetic. You get the worst of the worst in some ways, and then you get the best culture. And I don't know.
Well, Coach says it best. Like, it's a place you always have to have like a folding chair in the back of your car, because you never know when you're going to roll up on a party or a festival or something where you're just going to want to stay for a while. So, he's really embraced it, and the city's embraced him and our team, and we look forward to building it bigger.
Yeah, so I would ask about your journey, because you played here. You were here with Fritz, but then you left for Houston for a year, and now you're back.
Yeah. That's so I actually played baseball here. Was on the College World Series team in 2001, and just lived my life as an attorney for a long time. And when the NIL thing became a thing, I started the NIL collective here with a couple of buddies, Michael Arata and Jimmy Ordino, and we got that thing rolling. And as this has progressed, it's become a real job. And so I quit my job as an attorney and went to work for Coach Fritz at Houston for a year. And when Coach Summerall offered me the chance to come home, it was really a no-brainer.
Heck yeah. I don't blame you. So do you enjoy this being more than being an attorney?
A little bit more. Yeah, it's great. It's great being around the young energy, great being around the guys, being around sports again. This is really a dream come true for me.
Yeah, I believe it. It's a crazy. So what's it like managing? So y'all are managing the roster stuff. It's not just everybody thinks about the portal and the recruiting, but you're also still recruiting your own guys that are on the team. Like, how do you manage, everybody from the outside's thinking, oh, we got to have all this money to go get these transfers, but you got to have money to keep your guys. And when they do well, they want raises. I'm just trying to put my head around, how do you manage all this stuff?
It's a constant evaluation. I mean, everybody every day is auditioning for their spot on the roster. I mean, if you don't think like that, you're going to get left behind. So we treat this is our team for 2025. It's ever evolving, but everybody, every day they come in and come to workouts, they're really, trying to solidify their spot on the roster, because you bring guys in, some guys have to leave. That 85 number is a real number. And even for walk-ons, it's, we lost 15 walk-on spots in the last year. So it's hard to walk on anymore. It's really a tough gig to be a college football player. It's
also crazy how much it's affecting high school.
Yeah.
Because the high school recruiting, which, people used to just live for I used to be the guy that was like, oh, I care way too much about the 17-year-olds visit docs from Mississippi. But now it's almost like these poor high school kids, I guess they're going to have to start going to JUCO more and stuff, because, when you do the roster construction, do you do it hey, we're going to take 15 high school kids and 10 transfers, or how do y'all delegate that?
Yeah, you look at your roster as it exists now, which will change in 6 months, and you try to pinpoint, we're going to take 15 or 18 or 20 high school kids. You always want to be a high school program if you can, because that's how you build quality depth. That's how you build, you bring starters from within, but you have to look at it you want a certain number of high school kids and you're going to fill in gaps at the portal. It's almost like pro football where you have the draft and you have free agency. It's the same thing, just at a lower level. That's all.
If you were a high school kid coming out, I'm just curious, because this has hurt them badly. I feel then now there's way less offers coming from D1. I guess there's more of them going to FCS or JUCO, and then you have to just do well there and then build up.
That's becoming the path, is that if you're a really good high school player, and I have a son who's a junior in high school right now, who's going through the recruiting process. And I keep telling him FCS and even Division II, high level Division IIs, you can go there and you get film. Film is like gold now. So if you can go somewhere and you can get good film against, post high school players, so Division II players, FCS guys, you can spring forward ahead of a lot of guys that were highly rated recruits that are sitting the bench at a bigger school.
No, that makes sense. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy. I guess there's even more of a premium on high school kids' grades and stuff, because they're just looking for reasons to cross people off.
Yeah. That's what the recruiting process has become. It's like a process of elimination now more than anything, where you if you have a red flag, that red flag is burning a lot brighter than it used to.
Okay, so going into next year, I can say, yeah, I know y'all have been hitting the portal hard, tons of momentum. 9-4 year. I know, man, great run during this year too. Obviously early on, y'all always play a challenging non-conference schedule. Or doing again, not going to say the officials didn't screw. We're not going to say that they didn't. That pass interference call in that Kansas State game was a real tough scene. Week 2, fought at Oklahoma in the 4th, and y'all got hot, won like 7 in a row. Great first year. Now, how are y'all trying to just building on that? I know y'all hit the portal hard, brought in some quarterbacks, TJ Finley. TJ Finley, by the way, one of the greatest. Is this the first guy who's ever gone to 5 schools?
He might be. I don't know. I mean, TJ is like, Coach says, like the country song, I've been everywhere. TJ's been everywhere. But TJ has won the starting job everywhere he's been. And that speaks to his, I think his ability and his ability to come in and digest a new system and do well. I mean, he beat out Bo Nix at Auburn at one point.
Yeah, LSU started as a freshman. I remember they beat South Carolina in like a big game. Then he goes to Auburn. Then he goes to Texas State, where he was doing really well for G.J. Kinney. And then he got hurt at Western Kentucky, and now he's at Tulane. 5 schools, Ponchatoula, Louisiana, South Louisiana guy. I kind of got a feeling he's going to want to finish strong. I know he's going to be glad to be back around his family.
Yeah, he absolutely. He's got a lot of family around here. He's got 2 little kids that, he loves and wanted to be close to. And we've got a strong room. We wanted to build quality competition this year. We didn't want anybody to win any job by default. And so we're not handing anybody anything. We're trying to get as many good players as we can in here, build a great level of competition, and hopefully the cream rises to the top.
I love y'all brought Will Hall back.
Yeah.
Now, I love that. I've always really liked him. I thought he did an awesome job as offensive coordinator for Fritz here. Obviously he knows the culture, and I feel like that was going to be a big hire for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Hall, obviously, like you talked about at the beginning, a guy who's been here, loves New Orleans, loves being around Tulane University, and has that head coaching experience now that he can bring back with him to help elevate our program overall. He's going to be working as our pass game coordinator and working with our receivers. So he brings a lot of experience and a lot of recruiting ties in Mississippi to us as well.
Oh, yeah. No, he's loved in Mississippi. So next year, got Duke, Northwestern at home, at Ole Miss non-conference, before conference. I'm stoked about the Oxford, Mississippi game. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm just going to have to do half on this Tulane sideline and half on the Ole Miss sideline.
Come on, man.
That's going to be a lot of fun. The Duke game, Mintzy coming back. You can't these storylines up.
You can't, and it's all these academic schools we're playing. We feel like we got to, really show out against those teams, and we're playing a really challenging schedule. There are not a lot of so-called G5 schools playing 3 Power 4 programs. So we're going to put ourselves in a position, if we can be successful every week, to, really have an argument that even with 1 or maybe even 2 losses, we deserve to be in that playoff.
No doubt. And y'all, yeah, it feels like Tulane in the last few years. I mean, you look at the top G5 programs, y'all are top 2 or 3 every year now. Y'all are right there in the playoff thing. If y'all, just do well in non-conference, I mean, y'all this year could have had a shot at the play. If y'all had won that Kansas State game, y'all have been right there in that. Y'all had a shot at the playoffs.
Man. Yeah, I mean, the expectation now is that we win a championship, and that's what Coach talks about. Is like, we got to be playing for a championship. Our goal has to be to win a championship. If we win a championship, we give ourselves the opportunity to go to the playoffs. And now, that is the goal. Initial goal is conference championship, and then we let the chips fall where they may.
What do you think of the 12-team playoff?
I love it. I thought it was great this year. I thought it kept everybody interested and excited. There are always going to be arguments as to who deserves to be in and who doesn't. But, whether you have 4, 12, 64, there's going to be a team that gets left out that feels like they deserve to be there. But I thought it was great. I hate how the portal has affected all of this. Hopefully we can figure out a way to lessen the impact of player movement during the postseason. But, I thought it was awesome seeing those extra games.
Okay, because I know that's a lot of stuff that's like in Congress right now. They're trying to figure out the NIL stuff. What would be – I saw Lane Kiffin Justice. Could they just like back up? It's the thing where people can transfer in early December that gets everyone. Is there any way to like back that up? Does it have to be before the second semester?
It's tough because if you back it up after the start of the second semester, then kids aren't going to be able to move school to school and stay academically eligible. They're not going to be able to go through spring ball, which is a big thing. If you're going to bring a transfer on, you're going to want them to go through spring ball to see where they fit in your roster, to teach them the system. So there really is no easy fix. We just got to do better than we've done.
Is there any way like they could just do summer OTAs instead of spring ball? That's been something that's suggested.
I don't know. That's an interesting idea. I don't know if that's enough of a runway to get a guy ready to play. But, in the past for freshmen, that's how they've done it. I mean, that's something to look into for sure.
Okay. So you're a NOLA lifer. I'm just curious about favorite restaurants. What's your favorite stuff around the city?
So I like, I have my usual places. One of my places is Mr. Ed's on Live Oak out in Metairie.
Okay.
One of my favorites since I was a kid. Love Ye Old College Inn. Always loved that place. Rendon Inn was a place we went to a lot as, growing up. So those are probably three of the places I hit the most, during my time here.
Heck yeah. I love the Old College Inn.
Yeah.
That's really good. And then if you're getting out, I mean, obviously you have kids and stuff, but like getting out in the city, any favorite like bars or pastimes?
Bruno's Tavern, especially when the Mealises were over there. That was a regular, obviously the Boot. You can't go to Tulane and not hit the Boot a few hundred times. So been to the Boot a bunch, just basically the bars around Tulane.
Yeah, no, too. They throw down up here, man. This uptown deal, it's cool. I think as the football program has risen and the on-campus thing, you see the Tulane gear out everywhere now. Like there's, the swagger's back, and it's like an interesting thing. It's like LSU dominates like suburbs and Baton Rouge and all that, but in the city of New Orleans and uptown, it's like a little more of a mix. And I don't know, man. I see Tulane gear everywhere right now.
It is everywhere. We got a great logo,
rocking Tulane gear. Let's go.
There we go. Troy Dannon brought back the Angry Wave, in 2016 when he took over, and I think you see merchandise fly off the shelves. Come to Campus Connection with Dave over here, and pick some up.
Hell yeah! Well, awesome. Any, I guess now that y'all are done with the recruiting, what's life? What are y'all doing now? Starting to get ready for the season?
Yeah, like we talked about, it's always a constant evaluation of the guys on campus, trying to figure out what we've got now. You went shopping, you brought groceries home. Now you got to figure out what you bought and what you brought in, and that's the process we're going through now. We're trying to gel as a unit and develop some toughness and develop a culture. And bringing these new guys in, you have to integrate them to what you're doing and figure out how do we best put these kids in position to be successful this year.
Well, it sounds like we're on the right path. Is it hard keeping players here out of trouble in New Orleans? Because I feel like if I was in college here, that would be a very big problem.
In the past, I won't say there hadn't been a kid who's been out a few too many times, but we practice in the morning, which helps keep kids in at night. And I think there's as football and college sports have become more like a business, the kids are acting more professionally, and everybody understands the stakes, and everybody that we brought in, I think, wants to do everything they can to try to win a championship. And the kids that won't be here very long. Yeah,
that's the thing about it. Like you said, it's the year-to-year thing on the evaluation. And then does that change how players are coached? Because you're like worried about keeping them, or you just like coach them hard anyway? Like I just feel, I don't know. There's so many weird dynamics now.
I think that you coach or you develop the culture you want to develop, and you try to make sure you get kids that fit that. And I don't think you change the way you operate too much. I think everybody's different player to player. Some kids need different coaching, because that's always been the case. So I think you got to be who you are. And I think that's Coach Summerall. One of his best qualities is he's authentic, and he's not going to change dramatically for anybody. So.
Heck yeah. Well, I love following it. Love everything y'all are doing. It's, New Orleans is supporting it. Y'all are selling out all y'all's games. There's just the energy of it. It's cool.
Yeah.
There's the pride. You feel the pride, I don't know. It's like I said, it's so fun to follow. And, I'm looking forward to a Wave playoff berth here soon. I think it could happen.
Mintzy, I mean, look, we can beat Ole Miss with you on the sidelines. We got to get you on the sidelines for college football.
There you go. I can't be pulling for y'all in Oxford, but I'll cheer for every other game. I know, like the Oxford. If that would hurt the season.
It would hurt the season, but you know what? You can always jump on the bandwagon.
There you go. Heck of a bandwagon. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate everything. Thank y'all for coming last night.
Absolutely.
Freaking love it. Thanks for joining us. We got Scott Kushner's going to come say hello here for a second. What's up? Pop you on here for a sec. NOLA Media. Let's go.
How we doing? What's up, Mintzy?
Yeah, Polk and Kush podcast. Did a lot of Pels stuff forever. Take a little break from the Pels.
Who wouldn't take a break from the
Dude,
Pels? Me and everybody who goes to the games. All of us are taking a break.
It's the most we were talking about before. There's no more tortured fan base. I've never seen anything like it than the Pelicans. Because it'd be one thing if you know you suck and there's no expectations, but you just look at this team with Zion and I guess Ingram for another couple hours.
Yeah, maybe if they can get a second-round pick for him. A guy who they were trying to build the franchise around, and Brandon Ingram. About 2 years ago, or even last year, they were trying to trade the number 2 pick for him, and they said no. And now they can't get a second-round pick for him. It is, if you were to track Brandon Ingram's trade value of his entire career to now, this is the lowest point. And this is when you have to trade him. And same with Zion. If you were to track his trade value, his entire career to now, he's at his lowest point. So they've really screwed this up in about 100 different ways. But they still have talent on the team.
That's what's so frustrating.
Yeah, I know.
Because you look at it on paper, you're like, oh, you got Zion, Ingram, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, CJ, and Murray.
Yeah.
He won 49 games last year. Zion has the best game of his career in the play-in game, and then just hamstring injury with 2 minutes left. That just I don't know. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's it's just torture.
At least the beer's only $14 though. So you got that going for you. You can't park and the beer's $14 and the team loses every game. But other than that, being a Pelicans fan is a wonderful experience.
This is a tough time thank God for 2A football.
Thank God.
Thank God for 2A football. Because the Saints Pelicans thing right now, I was talking to one of my buddies who has season tickets to both. He's like, yeah, I spend 12% of my income every year on Saints and Pelicans season tickets.
And they lose every game.
He's like, what about, he's like, I want to keep doing it. I want to support the city, but what's going on here?
It's bad, man. The Saints season was so ugly toward the end there too, especially those Dennis Allen, those last 2 or 3 home Dennis Allen games, you could have shot a cannon through some of the sections. There was nobody there. This city needs a pick-me-up. I think Kellen Moore has said the right stuff this week that people will at least get on board temporarily on the Saints, right? I mean, I think this city wants to love the Saints so much. All they really need is a little bit of a push. And I think he's done enough to get people excited.
Well, yeah, look, we're at a point where, I hate to sound negative because I try to be a glass half full guy.
Yeah.
But when you've got Aaron Glenn and Joe Brady, who, Glenn played here and secondary coach, and Brady came up as a paid assistant, and they just don't want anything to do with the job, that's not good.
Not even interview. Won't even come to interview.
No, that's not good.
Yeah.
And and I get Brady's younger and he's the Josh Allen OC, but that is kind of damning. But the Kellen Moore thing's interesting. I think people are excited. I think he's a good play caller. I didn't love how in Dallas he made Dak too much of a drop back passer, and you couldn't really judge the Chargers year because everyone was hurt.
Yeah.
But this year, granted, he's got
a lot of players.
Yeah, but I was worried.
He's cooking with truffles. It's pretty easy to look good when Jalen Hurts and Saquon and 2 of the best 10 receivers in the NFL and the best offensive line probably. It would have been hard to look bad, but I do think he's looked good. I think they have done inventive things and done things well. The Saints are just in a bad spot. They have no quarterback. They have no young talent. How do you have no Pro Bowlers? How do you have an NFL team with no Pro Bowlers? The closest thing you have to a Pro Bowler is the punt gunner. He's the best player on the team is JT Gray. Everybody else is who else do you have that's young talent that you can build around? And it's not like they haven't drafted well. Drafted Trey Hendrickson, drafted Zach Vaughn. They're gone. They've done a lot of things wrong. They got to fix a lot. And I think getting the coach will at least get people maybe a little optimistic, but they got a long way to go.
What do you even do to start fixing this? $113 million over the cap is Derek Carr, Taysom Hill, Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and Honey Badger. Love all those guys.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well, not Derek Carr, but the rest of them.
The rest of them. But, they're $113 million over. You look at, the young talent. Lave's good when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I like Shaheed.
Yeah.
Fuaga's going to be a good left tackle.
There ain't much.
That's all I got.
It's about as dire a situation in the NFL, but at least you have Mickey Loomis at the helm, At least he can't ever lose his job. There's got to be no other GM who could possibly be doing what he's done and keep their job this long. It's an impossible situation that they're in, and there's a lot going on with both these teams that are owned and run by the same people. And because they're in Little New Orleans, where everybody here wants to they don't negative, cynical, douchebag, which I guess I've taken the mantle.
There you go. Hey, we all need them. We got to keep them in line somehow. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough times. Dude. I don't know. It's the Saints.
We got the Super Bowl here, man.
Yeah,
we got a nice distraction. Barstool people here this week. Everybody's happy. It's
I feel like seeing Sean Payton. It's like awesome, but it's like makes me sad because it's just. Yeah. I mean, he was here 16 years, though.
Yeah.
I know some fans are like pissed when he left. Like, I mean, if he'd been there 4 years and left, sure, but 16?
That and the reporting from Jeff Duncan, who's obviously the best source with Peyton and Saints news, really, saying that he wanted to come back last year. And the Saints were like, no, we're not going to fire Dennis Allen to bring you back. I honestly can't think of like a worse decision that could have been made from the organization.
No, I heard that same stuff. And then he comes in on the Thursday night and just
pound him. Oh, God, man. I had such a great day. Out at lunch all day. I was walking around the quarter. It was beautiful. And we would go in there and the Saints, I don't know if the Saints got a first down.
No, it was one of the biggest. Horrible. It was one of the biggest beatings.
It's horrible.
No, it's depressing times.
It's brutal. But look, we've got a lot of people here this week.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Tulane's rolling. I think we're, I don't think we can be too down. Mardi Gras in a couple of weeks. We're going to forget about all this stuff.
Oh, dude, Nola's popping right now. You got Mardi Gras, Hogs, Jazz Fest this time of year. Super Bowl week's fun down here too. It kind of started a little, I feel like it's like filling in now on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But just tons of events. I mean, you got any fun events you're going to?
I am trying to stay away from downtown as much as possible.
That's fair.
The traffic, I will bring my kids to the NFL experience. And then outside of that, I would like to avoid. It is crazy down there, man. It is. This city is just too small in some ways to host this many parties. And it's great for the city, great for everybody who owns anything downtown. God knows we need it after COVID and after a snowstorm and Ida and the million things we've gone through. This is all very good. But me and my kids, we are not going to be touching that area,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, they got it locked down over by the Superdome.
Wild.
Yeah, you can't take backpacks in the quarter or something now.
I mean, you got to do a lot of things. When they closed the Superdome garage for a month, it became a headache for you. So really started to get the idea. Then they closed the biggest street in the whole city in Poydras and closed it completely for the Super Bowl for 2 weeks. I don't think that would be happening anywhere else. I think Houston is just shutting down streets of downtown for the Super Bowl to come in town. So it is a very unique situation. It does take over the whole city. It also is what makes it fun here. You can't be here and not know the Super Bowl's going on as compared to when it was in LA or in Vegas, even. Like you can sort of get around without it knowing. Here, it is very clear this is a Super Bowl city for a week.
Yeah, it's the one thing I'll say, all these NFL stadiums, they build them in these suburbs and they'll have these like $1 billion stadiums and they've rented them. It looks good, all that. But it's just the location being in town makes it.
You never need a car.
No. And like, I feel like I don't care how nice the stadium is. I'm not trying to drive an hour to Santa Clara to watch the Niners play.
No, pay $5,000 for a ticket,
No. And so I like that Nola does it like that. And it's a big week. Tomorrow we'll be out at City Park for Steve Gleason's big charity golf tournament. Sean Payton and Chris Berman and Roman Harper and a ton of people playing. Garrett Nussmeier, the LSU quarterback. I'm making it my frat house for the Dave Portnoy, Big Cat, and Gruden show today. I am going to the heart of bourbon, though, man. That's going to be.
Get ready. Buckle up.
I know. I feel like I need to get a helmet and face paint.
Slap a blazer, go to Galatoire's. You'll live it up, man.
Try. I don't know, but it's going to be wild out there. A ton of fun events. I'm invited to some thing at the mansion tonight. It's like a big DraftKings thing for some golf tournament.
I'm sure that'll be low key.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just out here faking it till we make it. But Barstool, a lot of fun stuff. The Act tomorrow's got some really fun stuff planned. I'm going to go by there. But Barstool's having a good time down here as always. I could tell that everybody's in good spirits last night. So
good.
Hey, more good than bad.
Absolutely.
What? How can people follow you?
At Scott D. Kushner, if you want to hear me complain about concession prices at the Superdome, all of you around the country, I'm sure that's what you're looking for. So if you want to hear complaints about Mickey Loomis and complaints about the concessions at the Pelicans and Saints games, I'm your guy.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad I quit drinking beer because I can't afford $14 beers. But hey, as always, we got dude wipes to clean up all of our messes and still a coffee to wake up and get your minds right. We'll be out at City Park in the clubhouse live tomorrow. Or not live, 45-second delay. We're never live on
Never live.
Never live on Wake Up Mintzy. And it'll be a lot of fun. I'll be at Frat House. Come join us at Frat House on Bourbon today, 5 to 7. Moody, you're the man for holding it down from Louisiana. Let's go have a day, boys. Yay. Love it.
Perfect.
Dude, it's the
Good
best.
work.